You know, how do you really get to know a place? I mean, beyond all the headlines, beyond the stereotypes. Well, sometimes the best way to do it is to just get in the car and drive. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going on a road trip, using a collection of photos as our guide to piece together a story of modern Saudi Arabia.
And that really is the big question here, isn't it? What kind of story does a road trip like this actually tell? Because it's about so much more than just getting from point A to point B. It's about all the little clues you pick up along the way, in the landscape, in the cities, and in the symbols that define the whole place. So, let's get into it.
All right, every great journey starts with a first step, right? Or in our case, a first clue. And ours begins with this one tiny detail that kind of grounds us and sets the whole scene. And here it is, a simple close-up shot, taken at night. Before we see a single mountain or building, we see this, a license plate. And that one object, it immediately tells us exactly where we are in the world. This is our first solid clue, anchoring our entire journey before we've even really started. But let's look even closer at that little emblem. It's not just some random decoration, it's the national seal, and it tells a whole story. You've got the palm tree, which stands for the kingdom's assets, its vitality, its growth. And then, guarding it, you have two crossed swords, a symbol of justice and strength. These aren't just pictures. They're basically the keys to understanding a national identity, and we're going to see these themes pop up again and again. Okay, so from that one little detail, we pull way back to see the huge context for our journey. We're hitting the open road now, heading straight into the desert. And wow, right away, you get the two feelings that just dominate this landscape. On the left, you can almost feel the texture. It's rugged, it's rocky, almost harsh. Then you look to the right, and what hits you is just the sheer, unbelievable scale of it all. It's like an ocean of sand and rock stretching out as far as you can see. Just imagine driving for hours, and this is pretty much the constant view out your window, an endless horizon of rock and sand and more rock. There's this powerful, almost hypnotic rhythm to it. You start to feel like the landscape itself is the main character in this part of the story. But if you look closer, you see it's not just empty. The haze in the air actually reveals this really subtle beauty. The mountains way off in the distance create these soft, beautiful layers that just fade into the background. It's like a vast, painterly canvas, mostly one color, but absolutely full of depth. You know, what it all comes down to is the scale. That's the first thing that really, truly hits you. This is a landscape that feels ancient, formidable, and completely indifferent to whether you're there or not. It sets such a powerful stage for what's about to happen next. Because then, after hours of that raw, natural emptiness, something suddenly changes. Out of the desert, a whole new pattern emerges, the very distinct imprint of humanity. And what a contrast it is. I mean, look at this. On the left, you've got that same arid, unforgiving land we've been driving through. And then on the right, bam, a town just appears. It doesn't gradually fade in. It feels like it just rises straight up from the desert floor, like a real testament to this deliberate project of building something modern here. As we get a little closer, we can start to see the details. The architecture, it's very modern, very functional. And hey, notice the trees? Cultivated palm trees, all planted in these neat little rows. Remember the palm on the license plate? Here it is again, a symbol of life and prosperity, deliberately planted to show that this is a planned, modern community carved right into this harsh environment. All right, so the sun is going down now, and our journey is entering a totally new phase. The light changes, the mood shifts, and the story the road is telling us, well, that starts to transform too. And as we drive on into the night, a silent little travel companion appears on the dashboard. It's this little solar-powered waving skeleton. It's just a fun, quirky touch that reminds you that, in the middle of all this grand scale and big national identity stuff, a journey is still a very personal experience. The world outside the car starts to just dissolve. The solid shapes of the desert mountains, they give way to these abstract streaks of light and dark silhouettes of palm trees against the sky. It's this really beautiful, stylistic transition from the natural world of the daytime to the man-made world of the night. And now we've arrived. We're in the city, fully immersed in the night. The clues we're looking for, they're not in the landscape anymore. Now they're in the signs, the illuminated symbols that define this modern urban space. And this is maybe the most powerful sign of them all. A huge, brightly lit billboard showing the leaders of the nation, King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
If the daytime was all about the ancient landscape, the night is absolutely dominated by images like this one. It's a deliberate projection of leadership and national identity, lighting up the darkness for everyone to see. It signals a real shift. Identity isn't just rooted in the land anymore, but in the vision of the state.
And finally, our road trip reaches its destination, and it's signaled by this simple, universal word lit up in the darkness: welcome. We've traveled all the way from the vast, impersonal desert to this very specific, very human-made point of arrival. The journey through the wild is over. The journey into the modern city is now complete. So when you look back on it, you realize we've kind of been on two different journeys at the same time. The daytime story was told by nature. It was about scale and time and this ancient land. But the nighttime story, that's told by the state. It's about progress, leadership, and a brightly lit national identity. And it's really the tension between those two stories that defines modern Saudi Arabia. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Was this really just a journey through a physical place called Saudi Arabia? Or was it actually a journey through the very idea of a modern nation? An idea that's being built and lit up and projected onto one of the world's most ancient and formidable landscapes. What do you think?